Hi, I'm Mike Messier, and welcome to Messier Mantra. This is a show where we feature interesting personalities, people that I like and I think you'll like. On this episode, we have a very special young woman. She's an actor, and her name is Cailey Calisi. Cailey, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's great to have you.
Thank you.
Always ask this, did I get your last name correct?
Yes, you did.
Okay, great. And we were talking off camera, and that's mostly an Italian name.
Yes, it is Italian, yes.
And your family, you told me that you're first generation Italian to America, is that right?
Yes, my parents were born overseas, and they were actually born in Germany.
Wow.
Yeah, and then they came here, but they're Italian.
Do you have siblings, Cailey?
No, I'm an only child.
Okay.
Yeah, raised by a single mom.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
And how, if I could ask a little personal question,
Sure.
tell me if it's too much, but being an only child, that's something that kind of influenced your life with the attention or with the lack of siblings? What do you think?
Absolutely, because my mom, being a single mom, she was working all the time, and as soon as I was able to stay home alone by myself, and even before that, I just had to find ways to entertain myself because it was just me and her, or just me. Mm-hmm. So I was always playing make-believe and playing different characters and different scenarios, and dress up different costumes for all the different characters.
That's great.
Yeah.
What was some of when you were kind of in this imaginary world that you created, which is awesome, what were some of the characters that you remember that were really fun and special for you?
I really loved to play a queen,
Yes.
a queen, but more of Lord of the Rings, like a fantasy world type of queen. I really loved that. And when I was little, I thought I actually was Simba from The Lion King.
Okay.
So I played lions a lot, and I played assassins a lot. I would take the extensions that you put on the vacuum.
Yes.
And I would use those as weapons. So those ones really stick out. And ballerinas.
Wow. There's a co-star. Now we talk about we're talking about some of the videos that people can see. Mm-hmm. You make these videos that I find very inspiring.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes, and where can people see your videos, Cailey?
On YouTube. If you go to bit.ly/lovecailey, you'll find my page.
Okay,
Yeah.
And these videos are kind of actor-based, but not always.
Right.
I find them to be mainstream enough that people can really attach to them. And I actually compared your videos to a hero of mine, The Warrior. Remember I showed you those links?
Yeah, thank you so much. That's a huge compliment. Thank you.
He was, people might remember him as the Ultimate Warrior, wrestler, beat Hulk Hogan, etc. And but your videos are kind of in that same vein, much different look, because you're not a 260-pound screaming guy,
Not quite.
Yeah, but the messages that I find are very inspiring and motivational, and kind of like a get off your butt and do something, but at the same time in a nice kind of meditative fashion.
Thank you very much.
What inspired you to do these videos?
Well, I believe my purpose in life, why I'm here in this form, is to spread peace and love and joy and truth through the art I make to the world, through film and through acting, and I am eventually going to do that through, mainstream feature films, but I thought it would be great practice to do that in my own little shorts. So that's how it got started. And I really didn't expect anybody to watch them because, not a lot of people outside of the New England acting community know me. And, but, people I work with will come up to me and tell me that they really enjoy my videos, or friends of friends of friends who I will just happen to meet with them will tell me that they really enjoy them, and that's just huge. It's such a big compliment because I don't really think about anybody watching them. It's just, I'm just practicing, I guess.
And you do them with an iPhone or a little camera?
I do them on my iPhone, but I did get a GoPro to start doing them, and I can make more interesting edits with them. So I'm really excited to do that.
And they're pretty. I think they're good quality because you can.
Thank you.
With video, audio is key.
Yes.
Because if you can't hear somebody, then you're like, what's going on?
Right. Yeah.
But obviously, photogenic and obviously have good audio.
Thank you.
On your videos, so it's very nice.
Thank you so much. I try to mix it up and keep it interesting. So I don't always. Sometimes I'll do them in my car because it's quiet. But I like to go hiking and have my dog for a walk and do them or something like that.
Charlie the co-star?
Charlie the co-star, yeah, that's my man, Charlie.
Yeah, what kind of dog is Charlie?
He's a black lab.
Okay,
Yeah.
and he's very photogenic himself, very friendly.
Yeah, he's better looking than me. He's very handsome.
I don't know about that, but he's a good doggy.
Yeah, he is.
And he seems to be very happy. And
yeah, he's a blessing. He's just full of love, and that's all he wants to do is love. So I think that's very fitting.
How did you get Charlie in your life?
It's a funny story. I always wanted my own dog, but we couldn't afford one, or we move like every 2 years. My mom's a gypsy.
Yes.
So, it's not the best life for a dog. And then, I don't know, one day, I'm unyielding. If I want something, I never give up on it. So one day she just finally threw her hands up and she was like, fine, let's just get a dog. And we just stumbled upon a breeder's website, and then they interviewed us a bunch of times, and we started going to visit the litter of puppies when they were like 3 weeks old, and we would go back every week and play with them, and he picked us. So
that's great.
Yeah.
And that's what a nice pet will do.
Yeah.
Whether it's a dog or a cat.
Yeah.
They'll kind of, they'll make it known that this is it. I'm going home with somebody today.
Yes, absolutely.
That's great. Did you have other pets growing up?
Oh yeah, we've always had animals. We've had cats, and I had a bunny rabbit, and I'm actually an equestrian, so I had my own horse for 7-8 years that I trained and raised and showed, and
that's exciting.
I've always ridden horses, and we had a little dog named Max.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've always had animals.
Now this equestrian thing.
Yes.
That's a whole topic right there.
Yes.
So let's get into it a little bit.
All
Let's
right,
talk
sure.
about that for a few minutes. The power and the magnitude of the horse in general is awesome.
It's amazing. They're incredible, incredible animals. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but there's an Arabic saying. Now, my Arabic's not good enough to say it, but in English it roughly translates that God blew the east wind and it became the horse. So,
Interesting.
yeah. What was your question about horses?
Well, it was more of a statement. I just said like horses are really cool. They're awesome animals, and they seem to have this kind of Zen-like quality themselves, and so what's it like? I've never ridden a horse myself, so what's it like for you to do that?
It's my other gift, I guess you could say. It keeps me sane to be around horses and to ride, and it's so fulfilling to be one with an animal of that size and magnitude and power, and to be in sync with them, and to ask them and they give you, and to understand each other. It's a really special thing, and it takes a lot of work to be great at it. It's very, very challenging and demanding, and it's not easy at all, but it's one of the most rewarding things that I've ever experienced.
I want to ask you a little controversial question, not too controversial.
Lay it on me.
What do you think of horse racing? Is that something you like or don't like, or in between?
It's hard because it's 142 years now that we've been racing horses, and I don't like it because they start riding and training horses before their bones are developed and before they should be ridden at all. So, and that's why a lot of them die or need to be put down, because you're racing a 1,500-pound animal with like a 110-pound man at 45 miles an hour with other horses when their bones aren't developed.
Okay.
So I personally, I don't like it. I think, now it looks like a very beautiful thing, at Churchill Downs and the Triple Crown, and I think that, it could wait. Their longevity for their life can wait a few years, if they were going to be raced, but that's just not how it is. So.
Well, I'm glad I asked the question, because that never occurred to me.
Oh.
What you just said. No, I just didn't know about the horses getting to a certain maturity point.
Oh, yeah.
Never knew that, so
Yeah.
glad I asked. And it's interesting what you just brought up with the horses and their safety, because I think you could take that same conversation, apply it to vegetarianism, apply it to zoos,
Yeah.
apply it to wearing leather or fur. It is kind of a Pandora's box of a conversation.
It is, absolutely.
You know, I read a book, or I like to listen to audiobooks.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah. So this one was, it had an interesting name. I don't know if they'll drop it on the audio, but the name of the book was Skinny Bastard.
Skinny Bastard.
And it was the sister book of, man, I'm going to drop me all over the place, but Skinny B, you know, for ladies.
Yeah.
And so the book kind of hooks you in, thinking, oh, I'm going to lose a few pounds, blah, blah, blah. And then what it does is it swerves you, and it's actually a call for veganism. And the book goes into this great detail of how animals are processed for food.
Yeah,
and I was like,
horrible.
whoa, are you a vegetarian?
Kind of.
Yeah.
A little, mostly. I do eat fish, and around the holidays, you know, I'll eat turkey or pork roast, but mostly I eat a lot of pasta and lasagna, so, and salads and soups. But I actually read a book similar, I don't think it was, where you're referring to, and just what they do to the animals. And I'm such an animal lover.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like I'm a bad person eating meat after you aren't ignorant anymore of what happens. So.
Right. It's a tough world, you know, because
No
it's hard
kidding.
to eat anything. You're eating like a piece of bread and like, oh, the bread's, you know, giving me a guilt trip here, you know, or something. Or, I mean, even they, you know, I don't want to freak out the audience too much, but they say that if you listen closely enough, or they have monitors on grass, you know, just like regular grass.
Monitors on grass?
Yeah, when they mow the lawn, you hear the grass like freaking out a little bit.
Oh, right, because it's
I'm not
living.
making this up.
I know, I've heard of it. I've heard of it, I have.
What a sick world, but let's get on focus and let's talk about, at this point we're kind of in the halfway point of the show.
Oh, okay.
So the show is called Messier Mantra.
Yes.
And you probably have a lot of mantras, because I watched your videos.
I do.
And also on Facebook, especially, because I'm more of a Facebook, you know, user than anything else, but you'll have these quotations from famous people.
Yes.
And so give me a mantra, Cailey.
Trust that your soul has a plan, even if you can't see it all yet. Trust that your soul is leading the way. That really resonates with me. I love that one. It's not verbatim, but it's Deepak Chopra.
Oh, yeah.
Who said that?
The 7 Spiritual Habits?
Yeah,
something
like that. Yeah. And I really, it's not really a mantra, it's, but Virgil, do you know who?
The writer? Or
yes, the writer.
Greek writer?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
He said, fortune favors the bold.
Yes.
And that one was really important to me as well. Because I think, especially in this industry, there's a lot of fear around, am I going to make it? Will I make it? Am I doing enough? Am I doing the right things? You know, and it's so competitive. And I just feel that if you're putting in the work and you're following your heart, and you're being open and you're ascending and growing and evolving and learning as much as you can, and you're doing the work, that it's eventually, it's coming to you, and somewhere it's going to meet in the middle, and it'll happen in the present. And you can't be afraid, to follow your path, because you're not going to get anywhere. So to be bold and to take risks, and to, even if you feel afraid, to move through the fear anyway, is huge, especially for me. I really try to do that.
It's awesome.
Thank you.
Now you mentioned fear. As a young person with, you know, pretty much their whole life ahead of them, and is there anything that scares you?
Oh, of course.
Besides snakes or alligators?
No,
Maybe they don't scare you.
I'm not afraid of snakes.
I am.
What scares me? Oh, man. I guess I'm afraid to go through life not fulfilling my true potential.
Right.
And I'm afraid, like my biggest fear is that no matter what I do, I mean, it's like not real, obviously, but that I won't make it, and then I'll end up living in my mom's basement for the rest of my life, like working at Stop and Shop or something like that. That's
okay.
Or
Shaw's.
Yeah, right.
Just to give equal time on the show.
Yeah, Star Market.
Right.
No, but I mean, it's not real, but when things are hard, like, and I'm especially someone who's so intellectual and always in my head, that like, if I'm having a rough go of it, like, just the negativity starts spinning and spinning and spinning. You just have to stop it, because none of it's real. It's just the fear talking to you of what if it doesn't happen? What if it doesn't work? Which you can't rely on that. You have to do what your heart tells you no matter what. So
I had an English class going on what you're saying, and the teacher was talking about something called mother culture, which means that for most of us, we have some type of inner voice in our head, whether it's mom or dad or older sibling or friends, supposed friends,
Right.
or even our own voice that tears us down
Yeah.
continuously. And it's kind of that, as my buddy or hero, the warrior, used to talk about, Mr. Resistance was what he called it. So the negative vibe, the negative voice in one's head can limit people.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
Yeah.
100% I agree. When I was like a teenager and I was in therapy and like really depressed, which didn't work, but anyways, the therapist called it ANTS, automatic negative thinking.
Okay.
So just like learning how to identify it and to be aware of it, I think is the first step, and controlling your thoughts, because the Buddha said actually you become what you think.
Yes.
So if you're constantly thinking bad things about yourself or life, or just always in that negative trench, you're not going to be able to get out if you're not aware. So
One thing I do, Cailey, and I do feel like you're interviewing me at times, which is great.
Right. I'm so inquisitive.
No, it's good. Because what you say leads into some things that I like to think about too and share with the audience, which is, for me, the trajectory of the news, the nightly news.
Oh, right, yeah.
Daily news, nightly news, CNN, Fox News, whatever it is, even the newspaper. As an empathetic person myself, is very troubling. And I appreciate, people like my family members and the regular Joe, so to speak. No offense to guys named Joe, but people that like the news because they want to be hip on current events. They want to know what politicians to vote for, what issues to take a stand on. I get that. But for me, that the state of current affairs are so troubling and disgusting, for lack of a better word, and the lack of humanity in humanity, according to the news, that is, because they don't report the good stuff,
Right.
for the most part. It really hurts me, and I try to, I'll go to a coffee house, Cailey, and I'll say, I'll ask to borrow the remote control, and I'll turn the channels from the news to sports channels, just because I find that sports to be innocuous, if that's the word, like non-damaging to people.
Right.
So I'm saying this because I want to know, are you someone that keeps up with the news, or you avoid it, or?
I do keep up with it because I don't want to be in the dark.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's so much negativity that you have to almost take it with a grain of salt a little bit, and you can't take what the media says as true for everything that's going on. But it's really hard for me to watch the news if it's like talking about ISIS and things of that nature. That's very difficult, and I try to be aware, but at the same time, to be afraid is like letting them win.
Right.
And so I try to believe that what the UN stands for and America, things will work out eventually in the end.
You're ahead of me.
I know we're on a whole other topic.
No, it's good, because this is what the Messier Mantra is all about. It's a free form. And what I find interesting about you, what you just said, is you're ahead of me as far as current events, because I'm so shell-shocked by the fear, you know what I mean, that I like what you're saying, which is and I understand probably that you have the balance because you go on the walks with Charlie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And do your videos. And do you meditate?
I do. I do meditate. I'm going to be honest, I don't meditate every day, but there's a huge difference between when I do and when I don't. And I try to meditate when I get up in the morning, and if I'm really struggling with something or something's really challenging me that I meet through the day, I try to take a moment and breathe and meditate and get back to my center instead of reacting. So I do meditate. It's very helpful. I recommend it.
If you don't mind, because I'm sure everybody meditates differently, but there's probably somebody in the Seekonk viewing area, or when we get the show on YouTube, that's probably watching the show saying, okay, meditate sounds good, I heard that before. Someone's wondering what to do. Is it breathing exercise? Is it turning off all the phones, all the TVs? Is it?
Yeah,
What do you do?
Absolutely. If you're looking to meditate, I would turn off all distractions, try to find a quiet place and to start, so you can start on an even ground, and to listen to your breathing. Breathe in through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Yep, you get that, very good. And to stay focused, I listen to my breathing. And there's a lot of different exercises you can do, like breathing in for 5 counts and then letting out for 5 counts, and then breathing in for 6 counts and not holding your breath, but stopping breath for maybe 5 counts and then expelling all the breath out of your lungs and such.
Where do you do this geographically? Like in your home or in the gym? Or?
In the morning I start in my home.
Yes.
But throughout the day, if something's really bothering me, I'll do it anywhere. It doesn't take but 10 seconds to focus on yourself and on your breath and to get back to your center and what you know to be true. And it's really so beneficial, and I really think everyone should do it. And if you're not comfortable with it, just try doing it for 5 minutes. 5 minutes just breathing and focusing on your breath, and that's all. And then you can just build up if you're interested and really want to do it more. It really develops quite quickly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you do yoga, Pilates?
I do yoga, yeah. I'm a yogi, absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah, it's a spiritual practice, and I prefer yoga much more over church. So going to a yoga class is like going to church or temple or mosque. Yoga's really, really something that's changed my life.
Do you go to a group class, or you on your own? Or
I do on my own at home, but I do go to classes when I do have time. I'm really, really busy, but I try to at least go twice a month to a group class.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've when I was doing yoga 3 years ago, 3 and 2, and I felt so much better.
Yeah.
And I've fallen out of it. I'm like, oh, you know why? It's a little interesting story. The gym that I went to went from 7:15 in the morning, which was just about doable for me for a class. I cranked it up to 6:45 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, come on. It's not my time anymore. This is somebody else's time. I miss it. It's good.
Not an early bird?
I think I am.
You really?
6:45 is kind of pushing it, because I'll stay up late too. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
I'm on Facebook late at night reading your posts and watching your videos. There's a lot of activity on that Facebook thing. There's a lot of we talked about that off camera a little bit. Good information, bad information in the world of social media.
Yeah.
Are you someone? Well, I kind of know the answer, but are you someone that you feel like you're kind of a master of the top of the game of the social media?
No, not at all. No. I have so much to learn. I've definitely taken, as an actor, you are your own business. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, you need to be on them, and you need to be present in the world. And there's a huge social media, like network marketing yourself. So I know a thing or two, but I would not call myself a master at all.
Everything's perspective, because for some people I would be a computer expert.
Oh, okay.
I'm not. There's a lot of things on the computer, editing and all types of good stuff, that even though I'm involved in the film, I am totally clueless, when it comes to certain things. But if you give me Final Draft screenwriting software, I'll get that going.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that everything's perspective. Like you,
absolutely.
With your social media presence, at least what I've seen, I would say, oh yeah, Cailey knows what she's doing. And then,
thanks.
You know what I mean? But you may disagree,
Sometimes I feel adequate.
Yeah.
But, I'm human, so it's not an everyday thing that I feel like I'm on top of it, so.
You know what? We have about a minute and a half of this episode. Okay. We're going to bring you back for another episode.
Sure, that'd be great.
The thing that I find interesting, Cailey, is that Cailey Calisi.
Yes.
If I'm saying that right,
yes.
We introduced you as an actor. Mm. We've talked about everything besides acting.
Yeah.
So on the next episode, we're going to dig into your acting.
I would love that. Thank
you. But is there anything on this episode that we talked about that you would like to just refresh or refrain for the audience or clarify from?
I would like to refresh. The most important thing is to follow your heart and to listen to what your heart tells you to do, because that's your purpose. And everybody has a purpose and everybody has a path. that they are meant to walk. And I truly believe that if you follow your heart, you'll find where you're meant to be.
That's terrific. And so we just want to say, thank you so much for being on this episode. We're going to bring you back for next episode for our audience watching the Messier Mantra, and truly a special guest. And
Thank you.
And you came all the way from
Boston.
Boston, wow. How long have you lived in Boston most of your life?
Like 2 years, not very long.
Okay.
Almost 3, yeah.
Where'd you come from before that, real quick?
I was living on the Cape.
Okay, cool. Cailey Calisi,
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
We'll see you on the next episode
Thank
of
you.
Messier Mantra. Thank you for watching the Messier Mantra. We've had a great guest, Cailey Calisi. We want to thank her so much, and thank you, the audience of Messier Mantra. We'll see you on the next episode once again with Cailey. Thanks for watching.